2017 Kawasaki Ninja 650. Many of the changes this year are in the looks department. Kawi shifted the vibe from streetwise to race-tastic with a front fairing on chin spoiler that introduces a bit of 10R DNA into the mix. The fairing houses the back-swept, angry alien headlights, and an adjustable windshield crowns the bike's cowl with molded-in ducts that funnel air to remove heat and vent it away from the rider. Flylines are classic Ninja, and the nose-down tail-up stance makes it look like it's going fast even when sitting still. A deep scoop saddle comes over half an inch lower than last year at 31.1 inches tall, and the reshaped seat makes for a straighter shot from hip to ground, making the 650s relatively short, rider-friendly for a sport bike. The rider triangle sees adjustment all the way around with short, clip-on bars that pull the rider forward, and foot pegs that are around 2 inches forward and half an inch lower than the previous gen, so it's not quite what you would call a full jockey foot position by any means. To lower the center of gravity, the factory moved the 4-gallon fuel tank down a bit in the frame, and the tank comes narrow at the ass end, where it meets the seat for increased legroom. The bike even comes adjustable for hand size with a 5-position range on both the brake and the clutch levers. An all-new instrument cluster comes with LCD screen set around an analog touch with the usual assortment of idiot lights and a trio of shift indicators. All in all, a racier panache for this mid-range street decline. Kawi even rebuilt the bones with tubular steel members making up the trellis frame and a hollow press gull-wing swingarm to articulate the rear wheel. A stressed engine layout eliminates the cradle section of the frame and part of the down tubes, and the factory balanced weight and strength for the wall thickness. Steering geometry is typical at 24 degrees of rake with 3.9 inches of trail, and this, with a low center of gravity and light frame, make for a nimble ride. Cast 17-inch rims mount the hoops with a Dunlop D214 and 120/70ths leading the way, and a 160/60th springing up the rear, and the new 417 rims come in a very sparse, 5-spoke design that keeps weight and windage to a minimum. Kawi blessed this bike with brakes plenty. A pair of twin-pot calipers bite the dual 300mm front discs, and a single piston caliper binds the rear. The ABS and KRT models come with the new Bosch 9.1M ABS control unit, but if you can live without that safety net, there is a non-ABS version available in the same colors, just not in the KRT livery. Suspension is a bit of a letdown, to be honest. Not only are the front forks non-adjustable, they come in the rear configuration, and thus are vanilla in every way. A central mount monoshock springs the swingarm from out of sight, but only comes with the obligatory preload adjustment, so it's nearly as boring as the forks. Front and rear wheel travel measures out at 4.9 and 5.1 inches long, respectively, so at least you can count on a modicum of bump forgiveness. Like the relaxed rider triangle, the engine comes tuned to be both accessible for the newer riders and fun for the experienced ones. This parallel twin-mill runs an 83mm bore and 60mm stroke for a total displacement of 649 cc with a compression ratio of 10.8:1. Dual 36mm key-in throttle bodies meter the air-fuel mixture through the use of Kawi's dual throttle valve feature that balances engine RPM and throttle demand against what the engine can smoothly deliver. The water-cooled plant uses a radiator to vent waste heat and the Kawasaki air management system to shunt the hot air away from the rider. A central mount exhaust system keeps the weight in the right place, and the heated pipes and muffler well away from both passenger and rider, so there should be a minimum of heat transfer from bike to rider. Vibration is always a concern with a parallel twin, and the factory addressed that with a pair of balance shafts to take the edge off the worst of it. Power transfer between the mill and the 6-speed transmission falls to the slipper clutch that allows some slip when off the power, so you can safely scrub off speed ahead of a turn with a reduced chance of the dreaded wheel hop, plus it eases the amount of pressure needed to actuate the clutch, which gives your left hand a brake. The factory claims to wring a total of 68 horsepower out of this plant, pretty exciting given its non-ABS weight of only 419 pounds. The ABS model rolls for $7,799 MSRP, but the non-ABS model will save you $400 off that price. Both are available in candy burnt orange, metallic spark black or pearl blizzard white. If you want that fabulous lime green ebony race team finish, you will have to cough up another couple of bills for a total of $7,999 MSRP. Competition abounds for the Ninja 650, but I decided to stick to one of Kawi's domestic foes with a look at the CBR 650F from Honda. I don't get to say this very often, but I prefer the looks of the Honda in this case. The pointed front fairing and Cyclops headlight makes for a cleaner entry, and though both rides carry plenty of angular features, Honda softens some of them just enough to give it a bit of a Euro vibe, and though the windscreen is fixed, it also comes vented to reduce head buffeting. From there, the two share similar upper lines and the same nose-down stance. Suspension components are a bit of a snore on both rides, with only the obligatory spring preload adjuster on the rear shocks, but Kawi does provide 4.95.1 inches of travel at the axle, where Honda only gives up 4.35.0 inches of travel. Not a big difference, but there it is. Honda gets a gold star in the brakes, though. The massive 320mm front discs are even bigger than the 300mm discs on the Kawi, and ABS is available as an option, so Honda comes off looking pretty good here. Honda opted for the inline-4 engine configuration, and the 67mm bore and 46mm stroke adds up to a total of 649cc, same as the Ninja. Electronic fuel injection and liquid cooling is consistent across the board, but Kawi takes a beating at the dyno. The 68 pony output from the Ninja is good enough to be sure, but the Red Rider bike claims a whopping 85 horsepower, which leaves Kawi sucking hind tit. You will pay for that power though. The CBR 650F rolls for $8,499 for the non-ABS and $8,999 for the ABS model, a significant margin over the Ninja. Looks like a good mid-size ride, and it does appear that Kawi is making an attempt to keep the Ninja name alive, kicking and continuing the fight for the street bike market. Gotta say, I ain't feeling the front end. The slanty lights and ant-mandible protrusions are a little off-putting, but man, aesthetics are vanity and very subjective, right? My wife and fellow motorcycle rider, Alan Hinton, says it's a Ninja in this popular middleweight range. What else is there to say? I know in the past, performance on this 650 and its other versions has been less than impressive, but come on, it's a 650. The 6280 roll-on was less than 4 seconds, which to me is a spec more pertinent to its intended use. I can live with that. I haven't seen performance numbers on the new 650, but I do know the lighter weight and better handling makes for a more fun ride than its predecessors. This is a nice upgrade from an entry-level bike, and with improved fuel economy, it could be your fun commuter.